basically what I do is I help people figure out how to do what they love and get paid for it. It's pretty good, right? And it's very important because your happiness at work is no small matter. The world is waiting for what you have to say, for what you have to give, for what you have to produce, what you have to make, what you have to write, what you have to sing, the messages that you have. The world is waiting for all this stuff, and you can't let a stressful day job, if you will, get in your way of making your dreams come true. This is a high stakes game. The dreams of the planet are depending on your dreams coming true, so this is super high stakes. I think about the great psychotherapist and best-selling author Barbara Sher. She's famous for saying, and you've probably heard this quote, "Do what you love and the money will follow. Unless you're a poet, and then it won't." I probably say it a little snarkier than she does. But it's so funny, it's so hysterically funny because it's so hysterically true, right? We want to believe that we can follow our bliss and make money doing all these blissful things that we want to do, but how often do you really see it in real life, and how often does it really happen to you? Maybe a lot of you might might feel like the poet in that quote. You're doing something that you're getting paid for, but you're not really crazy about it, and you're certainly not getting paid to do what you love. Well, you're in the right place at the right time. We're going to hopefully fix that, or at least give you some tips and tricks on how to lean into fixing that. For most of my life, I was what you might characterize as a jobaholic. I know, hi, I'm CC, I'm a jobaholic. And what I mean by that is, I've had a bajillion jobs, hundreds of jobs. I can't even begin to count how many jobs. And it's like the minute I would get there, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days, sometimes 6 hours in, I'd be ready to quit. I would be so stressed out. My boss is so stupid. My coworkers are smelly. The dudes at the top don't get it, and they certainly don't get me. I'm in the wrong place. This work is so boring. I'm better than this. I'm meant for something greater. And so I would find a new job and quit. And I did that hundreds of times, job after job after job after job. And I worked for a lot of really cool companies too. I worked for PBS and NBC and CBS and J. Crew and NYU and BK and SNL. I worked for every acronym in the book, people. And I even had a job at Saturday Night Live working with Conan O'Brien. And Saturday Night Live working with Conan O'Brien doesn't sound like fun or make you happy. You're a lost cause. I was a lost cause, and worse than that, I felt like I was wasting my life. I had all these amazing opportunities come to me like magic, and I was something was happening, I didn't know what. So it's like, you're 30 years old and you hate all the jobs you've ever had. You're 40 years old and you've hated all the jobs you've ever had. And that happiness thing at work is still like this holy grail out there somewhere, and then you're 50 years old and you're still not happy. And it's like, okay, now it's getting pretty scary. Something has got to happen. So that's kind of when I stopped, dropped, and roll, if you will, and really took stock of what was going on. What did I want? What was happening here? Was there any through line that I could draw between all these crazy jobs that I had and why I wasn't happy, and what was the common denominator? So I did a lot of work thinking about that, and I was looking for clues that would help me and maybe help other people too figure this out. I think a lot of people are dealing with this, especially this time of year. We're reinventing ourselves, etc. And I did find a common denominator through all these dozens and dozens and dozens, I'm not even kidding, hundreds of jobs. And that common denominator is hysterically funny because it was kind of staring me in the face the whole time. The common denominator was me. I was the only thing that was the same across all these jobs. And I can't believe that I never thought of that before. And the idea with that is I finally realized my jobs didn't suck, I sucked. And so I kind of had to take responsibility for that. And I realized that I held the key to my happiness and not my employer. And as soon as I did that, as soon as I kind of stepped into that ownership of what I was doing, everything changed around. All of a sudden, opportunity opened up for me. Dreams opened up for me. Working with creative people opened up for me. Money opened up and revealed itself to me. And that was the coolest thing that I learned. And so here's what I learned with all of this. That you can't get where you want to go from where you are, from where you're at. If you want to, get another job, start your own business, etc., you have to change your mindset. And in this case, I'll cut to the chase, I know I'm out of time, that the mindset is you can't go from crappy to happy. You can go from crappy to crappy, and you can go from happy to happy. It's like that saying, the rich get richer. Well, they get rich because they're already rich. Of course they get richer. Since the same thing works with happiness. So if you're in a situation where you're not really thrilled about what you're doing and you want to move into that dream job space, you have to change the energy around what you're doing with your jobs. And that basically is you have to be the best there is at the job you already have and do everything with authenticity and sincerity and integrity. There's no task that's beneath you in the job that you think you hate. Every choice that you've ever made in your entire life put you in this position, and you're not in a position to disrespect it. You have to respect it, do everything with love, and you can make your dreams come true. And I will leave you with that for now. Thank you very much.